back students to another class of geography. We are in a second chapter and the name of the chapter is landforms. So in our last class, we dealt with certain kinds of landforms. What were they? There were valleys, plateaus, and we had just a brief introduction of what do we mean by a plain, right? So in this class, we will proceed further and we will try to understand the structure of the plain and the origin of a plain area in detail. So first thing, what is a plain? What is the plain area? What is the definition? Or what do we mean by a plain? Plain, not that plain. Plain, plain. So what is a plain? Plain is a broad area or plain is a flat area. What is a plain? Plain is a broad area. The area will be broad. That means the area will have the width. The area will have the width. The area will not be narrow. That is the meaning of this. The area will be broad. See, the area will be broad in case of a plain. The area will have the width. The area will have the width. This is the width, isn't it? Width. That means length and breadth. The area has the width. The area has the breadth. So it is a broad area of relatively flat land. It is a broad area and the area is very flat. That means the area doesn't have many height. The area does not have much of the elevation. This means the area may not be having any of the mountains or any of the peaks. The area does not have anything. The area is plain, the area is broad and area is a flat land. It does not have any of the features like mountains, hills, narrow valleys. No, the plain area does not have all these features. Second thing, the height. Usually they have a height of 160 meter. See the height. Height is 160 meter. From where? From the mean sea level. From the mean sea level. See here. If this is the mean sea level, what is mean sea level and all? Not required. Just understand from the mean sea level, the area has height of just 160 meter. Let me consider this as 160 meter. This is, I'm talking of a plain area. To get a better clarity, I'll show you now mountain or a hill. What is the height of the hill or a mountain? This is, I'm showing of a mountain. Again, let me take the same mean sea level. This is the mean sea level. And from the mean sea level, usually the height of the mountain will be, see, this will be the height of the mountain. 8,000 meters or 6,000 meters is the average height of the mountain or a hill. Understood the difference? Height of a mountain is 6,000 meters from the mean sea level or 6,000 meters from above the mean sea level. This is of a mountain, whereas see about a plain. See the height from the mean sea level, the height is just 160 meters above the mean sea level. This is a difference between a mountain and a plain area. Plain area does not have much of the height. Height of the area is very less. It does not have any high elevation point. Means any high pointed area. Plain area does not have any of these things. So, now This was about the definition. Again, the plain area is divided into two types. On the basis of the origin or on the basis of the formation, plains are divided into two types. Which are those? One is, we call it as a structural plain. One is a structural plain and other one is a depositional plain. So, plain areas are divided into two types. They are divided into two types. The first one is divided on the basis of what? On the basis of origin, how the plain area came into existence. On the basis of that, they have divided it. They have divided the area. So the first type is structural plain. The first type is structural. Why the name structure has been given? We use the name structure when it is associated with the endogenetic forces. When it is associated with endogenetic forces or some forces related to the movement of the earth, only under such circumstances we use the term structure, structural plane, because structural planes are formed because of the endogenetic forces coming deep within the earth. The main cause of formation of this structural plane are endogenetic forces. From where the endogenetic forces originate? From deep within the earth or from interior of the earth. And how this endogenetic force is responsible? See, because of the endogenetic forces, earthquake can happen, volcanoes can happen, upward movement of the area can happen, isn't it? When earthquake happens, some of the area may uplift, some of the area may subside like a horst and graben. While studying the block mountain, we have seen that some of the areas may get uplifted. Such a uplifted area we call it as a horst, and the subsided area we call it as a graben. In the same way, because of the endogenetic forces, what happens? Some part of the land may get uplifted. How this upliftment of the land takes place? See, again I am taking the example of the mean sea level or the continental shelf. What is this continental shelf? This shelf, wait. This is below the sea. This area is below the sea. We are talking of below the sea area or underneath the sea area. And this is what we are seeing here is, we call it as continental shelf. The land area below the sea is called as continental shelf. The land area just below the sea or the land adjoining the sea area, we call such area as continental shelf. So sometimes what happens, due to the endogenetic forces coming from deep within the earth, due to the endogenetic forces which come from deep within the earth, some part may get uplifted. This continental shelf, which was here, due to the endogenetic force, the same continental shelf may get uplifted, or let me show here itself. See, the area, this continental shelf is here. Because of the movement or because of the endogenetic forces, the area gets uplifted and continental shelves arise above the sea level. Continental shelf, this is above the sea now. This is above the sea water. The area has uplifted. The area was below the sea. Now the area has come up above the sea. The same land area which was below the sea, because of the work of the endogenetic forces, the area has been uplifted and the same area is now above the sea. This is called as upliftment of the area, and this upliftment is because of the endogenetic forces. Usually during the earthquakes, this happens. Both the upliftment and subsidence of the area happens during the earthquake, and earthquake is because of the endogenetic forces. Next, this was the case of upliftment, right? Now let's see the case of subsidence. How the area was subsided or downgraded. Again, this is the continental shelf area. This area which I am highlighting, this is the continental shelf area. We are talking of subsidence. Again, because of the endogenetic forces which come from deep within the earth, because of this, the area which was here, or let's take this area point A, the area is here above the sea. Above the sea water, the area point A, this area is above the sea now, land area. But because of the endogenetic forces, the area gets subsided. The area which was here comes to this level. The area gets subsided, or what? Subsidence. The area comes down like a graben. Like a graben, same here, area comes down. We call it as subsidence. So, the structural planes are formed because of the endogenetic forces. They are the only reason for the formation of the structural plane. In one case, we are seeing the area rising upward. We call it as upliftment of the area. And in another case, the area which was above the sea level gets subsided or downgraded. That case we call it as subsidence of the area. Whether it is upliftment of the area or subsidence of the area, in both the scenarios, structural planes are being formed. In both the cases, structural planes are being formed. Now come to the page number 28. In your textbook, come to the page number 28, and they have already given us the map, distribution of map of landforms. In that, come to map this one, point 2, Great Plains of North America. Great Plains of North America. This is here, Great Plains of North America. Whole of the America and parts of Canada come under this, Great Plains of North America. And then the next one is the Malabar coast of India. The next one is Malabar coast, the coast which we have near the state of Kerala. We call it as a Malabar coast. Both the Great Plains of USA and the Malabar coast are the result of the upliftment of the area. These structural planes have been formed due to the upliftment of the area, whereas the vast plains of Russia, see this part, the plains of Russia and the central lowlands of this part in Australia, the central lowlands in Australia, these two plains have been formed as a result of subsidence of the area, as a result of subsidence of the area. Go through this map properly. Here you will understand the distribution of plains around the world, not only in India but around the world. Next type of plain is depositional plains. The next type of plain is depositional plains. What is the meaning of now this depositional? How these plains have been formed? Due to the upliftment, subsidence? No, the formation of the depositional plains is entirely different when we compare it to the structural plains. First thing, the depositional plains are the most common form of the plain areas around the world. Structural plains, there are here and there we hear of the structural plains, but every country has depositional plains. Why? Because depositional plains are formed by the work of the rivers, winds, glaciers. Let's see how these plains are formed. First thing, the depositional plains are formed because of the deposition of the sediments. They are formed because of the deposition of the sediments. What do we mean by sediments? Sediments are all the things which the river brings by herself, with itself. The river from its origination, see, let's take, this is the origin point of a river. And usually the origin point of the river is always a mountainous area. From there, the river starts her journey from this point, from her this origination point, and the river has to join a sea. So during her course of her journey, the river brings along with herself all the particles which are along, all the particles throughout her journey, brings all the particles throughout the course of the river, like sand, like sand, like clay, silt, small pebbles, small pebbles, pebbles in the sense small rocks. All these things rivers bring from her origination point. Throughout her course, the river plucks all these things. She takes her along with herself all these things and deposits at some point. That deposition point may be some lake or maybe some sea floor. Even in this sea, as the river joins the sea, the river deposits all which she has with herself in this part. Here in this part, because of the deposition, there is a delta formation. Deltas usually get formed because of the deposition, because of the sand, silt, clay, which the river brings with herself. So, the river deposits all these things, and that deposition point may be a lake. Let's take an example of a lake. See, this is a lake. And this is the floor of the lake. The lake is full of water as of now. But what happens is the river starts bringing and starts depositing some sand, some clay, some silt material, and don't think that this process will complete in a day or two. No, this is an ongoing process, and this process takes thousands of years, not thousand, at least requires 50 to 60 years for a river or a sea floor to get filled up. So at last what happens? The river starts on depositing everything. Because of this, the whole of the or entire lake gets filled up with the deposits. the entire lake gets filled up with sand, silt, clay, boulders, pebbles. Because of this, the riverbed gets raised up. Because of this, the riverbed gets raised up and the river becomes a plain area. This is how a lake gets converted into a depositional plain. And depositional plain is one of the common things throughout the world. Even in India, the northern plains of India is a depositional plain. Why? Because rivers like Ganga, Yamuna, Kosi, Gandak, all the Himalayan rivers bring with them all these sediments and they deposited in that area. If the area is narrow, see if this is, let's consider this as a plain of India, not northern plains of India. Earlier the plain was like this. It was having what to say. It was a narrow valley. Here some depthness was there. But because of the sedimentation, the area got filled up and the area was converted into a plain area, a plain flat land. This is how depositional plains are formed. Best example of the depositional plains is Ganga Brahmaputra plains, which we have in India, and apart from that, Mississippi of the USA. Go to your atlas, locate where is Mississippi River of USA, and whole of that plain is a depositional plain, and it is formed by the river Mississippi. So this was all about the depositional plain and the structural plain. So till now what we did, till now we studied the various kinds of the landforms. From now, in the last segment, what we are going, there are two topics remaining from this chapter. And what is about all those two topics? What they have done is, in the last two topics, they have given about a region called Ladakh. So what they have done is they have given about us a region called Ladakh, and in this part what they have done, they have tried to explain everything about that region, the physical features of that region, the culture of that region, the population of that region, how the people are of that region, what is the religion in that region. So what they have done is they have tried us to give a complete understanding of a particular region, and the region we are going to study is called Ladakh. The Ladakh Union Territory of India, newly formed Union Territory of India. This region was formed in the year 2019. Union Territory of Ladakh. It's one of the newest union territories in India, and it was formed in the year 2019. Earlier, this Ladakh was with the state of Jammu and Kashmir. In the year 2019, what happened? The government of India decided to bifurcate or divide the whole of the state of Jammu and Kashmir into two union territories. So the first union territory was Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, and the second union territory in that region is Union Territory of Ladakh. This Ladakh is also called as a cold desert. Why they call it as a cold desert, we will understand when we start studying about the region. First, let's see the location or the position where this region is situated. So first let's try to see the location or the position where the region is located. Please refer your map. Please refer the map in page number 29 and figure 2.4. See this region which is in the northernmost part of India, that is in the Himalayan region, we find the Ladakh Union Territory. Where is this Ladakh located? See, on this part we have, it is called as Karakoram range. Karakoram range. What is a range? We have already come across. This is the Karakoram range, and here is the Jaskar range. This is another range in the Himalaya which we call it as Jaskar range. So, in between the Karakoram range on the northern side and the Jaskar range on the southern side lies here is the Union Territory of Ladakh. Here is Ladakh. By seeing the position, I can say, by seeing the location, I can say that this region lies in the Himalayas. The Ladakh Union Territory lies in the Himalayan region. That is the first point. Second point is, on both the sides, on the northern side as well as on the southern side, the region is bounded by the mountains of the Himalaya. That is the Karakoram range and the Jaskar range. This is our second point. Then what is the third point? What was the first point? First is it is in Himalayas. This is the first thing. The region is in Himalayas. The second point, it is bounded by Himalayan ranges on both the sides. Ranges on both the sides, right? On both the sides, I mean on the northern side and on the southern side. Third thing we can surely say is the area has altitude. The area has altitude. Remember, while discussing the plain, I said hills or the mountains have altitude from the mean sea level of 6,000 to 8,000 meters. That is true for this Ladakh because the altitude of this region is, that is the height of the region is average 7,000 meters. Average 7,000 meters from the mean sea level. See the height of the region. See the altitude of a region, 7,000 meters from the mean sea level. Whereas a plain area usually has 160 meters to 180 meters from the mean sea level. And another one speciality of this region is it has many rivers. The region has many rivers. And the most important river is River Indus. The most important river is River Indus. River Indus is the most important river in this region. River Indus, see, River Indus, this is River Indus. River Indus flows through this region. River Indus flows through this region. Not only River Indus, many tributaries of the River Indus also flow in this region like River Nubra, River Jaskar, River Shyok. These are some of the rivers of this region. We will study Ladakh in detail in our next class as we have already reached the last part of the class and it is homework time. So I have just given you two questions. The first one is, what is a plain? You have to just write the meaning. What is a plain? The second question is, explain about structural plane and depositional plane. You have to explain what do you mean by structural plane, how structural planes are formed. Same is true for the depositional planes also. Try to write this in your homework book in a neat manner. We will meet in our next class. Thank you.